Hi, everybody. This is Bob Iacchino from Path Trading Partners, along with Mike Arnold. Over the weekend, we received an email from a viewer that asked us our opinion on Netflix, whether we were bearish or bullish, and what kind of time frame we're looking at. So we're doing a quick Netflix path chat for you guys, strictly based on price action. Netflix did have earnings a few weeks ago. They reported an extremely positive quarter. Top line was right where analysts expected. They beat on the bottom line, 15 cents. They beat by a penny. And they're estimating 5.2 million net additions for the first quarter of this year. Now, that's not as much as last quarter, where they brought up 7.05 million new additions, but it's still well above analysts, what analysts were expecting. Analysts were looking for this to almost be halved, and they're actually predicting more than that, so the market seems to believe it. So let me turn it over to Mike to give you the price action view of the Netflix chart.
Okay, thanks, Bob. So as we updated over last week, we were looking for higher prices, 145.10, which is what we've hit so far. Next higher prices that I'm watching for 146.38 and 147.70. Eventually, if we keep going, and this does not have to happen in a straight line, we can have many rotations. The eventual target is 155.47, and when I switch to a weekly chart, I'll point out my next weekly target. What would invalidate that is a close below the 21 rising exponential moving average, which is essentially right now at support. So, we have some pretty critical support at the 139 level. And we can easily, if we pull back next week, we can easily pull back to the 142.50 level, which is also in conjunction with the rising 8. Prior resistance coming support in both cases. All right, so one of the questions that was asked was the probabilities of going below 139 in the next week, which is options expiration. I ran that through some of my options probability calculators. The probabilities of us touching 139 is only about 18%, and the probability that we end next week above 139 is close to 91%. So the probabilities aren't very good that we will end next week below 139 in conjunction with all the other technical analysis I've already done. We could easily have a one-level GAN pullback, which would only take us to 140.79. Now, this is barring that we have some major market sell-off in the NASDAQ, which would naturally drag Netflix down, but I cannot predict that. Now, on a weekly basis, here's where I have another longer-term target, about 149.64. Yes, I believe we will eventually, after we hit some of these higher targets, get a nice correction, a multi-week correction, but it'll probably happen in conjunction with an overall some kind of correction in the market, some kind of market pullback. We have not had a market pullback in quite some time, and it does not have to be a big pullback either. So we're looking at a number of higher prices, or we could pause, but we have some very critical support that would have to be broken before we even get a shot to go below the 139 level. That's my overall analysis at this point on Netflix. Again, if we do get a close below the 139 level, which is essentially where the 21 exponential moving average is, then I will reevaluate these higher levels. Until that happens, I'm going to be looking for longer term higher prices, and we can always travel sideways before those happens or make a slight rotation, catch somewhere in the rotation zone and turn back higher. That's my analysis. Back to you, Bob.
Remember, trading is based on risk, not on reward. Okay, you have to put on trades where you can accept the risk that you've taken. If you're not doing that, then you either need to shrink the risk or consider another line of work. Risk is the most important thing, not the reward. So don't take trades that are too large. You'll have better success that way because you'll have more patience. Thanks, everybody. Money Path Podcast is out. PathTradingPartners.com, or type in the Money Path Podcast into your iTunes search bar and keep the questions coming. We appreciate them. Support at PathTradingPartners.com. Cheers, everybody.